You have just finished your job interview and you can let out a big sigh of relief. But don't get all too cozy just yet. There's one more detail you have to follow through on in order to ensure the good impression you've made. Hi, I'm Debi Douma-Herren, HR consultant and career strategist with Freesumes.com. Today we are talking about sending a follow-up email after the interview. Let's dig in. You might be wondering why follow-up emails are a big deal. Well, the small gesture of sending a quick thank you email after an interview can make a major difference in your odds of getting a call back. A few reasons they are important include that they show appreciation and reconfirm your eagerness to join the team. They allow you to provide some extra information or share something you forgot to mention during your interview. And lastly, you remind the recruiter or the hiring manager of you. And no, sending a follow-up email after an interview does not make you look like a pest. In fact, it's a courtesy most employers will appreciate. Now, you are probably wondering when to send the follow-up email. You might be surprised to learn that there's really no right or wrong timing. You'll have to go with the cues you picked up in the interview and decide when it's the best time. To help you decide on the right timing, think about these options. Sending a thank you email can be done the same or next day after the interview. Keep it short and sweet, recap the matters you've discussed, reconfirm your interest, and thank the interviewer for their time. You could go with the employer timeline. Most companies will tell you when you can expect their decision. If you heard crickets from them within that time, take it as a sign to follow up. Or you could go with the 2-week window. Usually that's a good timeline for larger companies to make their decision. Now let's focus our attention on how to write a follow-up email after the interview. You already know that you can send several types of interview follow-up emails: a thank you email and a general follow-up email. Regardless of the type of follow-up you are sending, keep this in mind. Always set a positive tone. Try to reinforce the reasons why you believe you're a good fit for the role. Keep your email short and on point. Get to your purpose quickly and include a clear call to action in the end, such as something you want the other party to do next, like provide you with an update. Include any valuable information that you didn't get the time to pass on to your interviewer. And finally, clarify and answer any interview questions that you felt you didn't answer very well. Interviewers know that job candidates can usually get nervous during their interviews, so they'll understand if you occasionally stumble over an answer. While companies value receiving a thank you email after the interview, according to some leading surveys, only 24% of candidates actually go about sending one. And that's a shame because thank you notes are easy to write and they have the opportunity to pack a punch. Your email popping up in their inbox can act as a powerful memory booster after they have experienced a few days of back-to-back interviews. And it's best to send a thank you email to the person you've had an interview with and the recruiter who set up the interview. If you don't have the contact information, try looking them up on the company website to find their contact email. Now we're going to give you an example of the type of email you can send. Sending a straightforward thank you message such as this and finishing off your email with an open offer for them to contact you for more information will show that you are still interested in the job. It also keeps the lines of communication open between you and that employer. After you've dispatched your thank you note, mark your calendar for the next interview follow-up email. This will serve as a more substantial reminder that you could reinforce and support your job application. A second follow-up email after an interview can be a great avenue for resolving any issues you may have or merely asking about the status of your application. You can find examples of these by following the link in the description of this video. You can also find examples of a sample interview follow-up where you may need to address an interview concern and also one to request an update. As a side tip, send your email as a reply to an already established email thread that you have with the employer. You stand a better chance of getting your email open quickly as it looks like a continuation of an established conversation rather than a brand new one. The whole purpose of sending a follow-up email after your job interview is to emphasize your value to the employer and prompt them to update you with their decision. It's a simple step many candidates fail to make, But now you have seen an example and know the tips to write an on-point and impactful follow-up email after your interview. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it and click subscribe to get more helpful tips.